If you've been following along this summer, you know that we've broken down not once, not twice, but 3 times now. In our last video, we broke down in the Canadian Rockies. See what happens next.
Well, guys, the breakdown saga continues. You hear that noise? We haven't broken down, but our check engine light came on, and now it's feeling like the car's revving when it's really in a high gear, like it's just revving really high. So now we don't even know what we're gonna do. We're like 3 hours from where we were going to go in the US, but we called Ram dealerships. They all can't see us for 3 weeks, so we called the original one, which we're not close to anymore. And she's gonna try and figure it out, and then they're calling me back, but like, I don't know, I just feel so defeated right now, and I don't even, like, I have no happiness in my body anymore. All right, I was honestly too depressed to update everyone last night, and we were dealing with figuring stuff out, and just, it was a lot, but we're feeling a little better this morning. Here's what's happening. Our insurance was able to get us a tow truck. It's coming in like an hour. We've been waiting for 2 hours or so. Which is great because when we called tow truck places, they said it was going to cost $850 to get a tow from here to an hour and a little bit more to the Dodge dealership there. And then the Dodge dealership we came from, which is 6 hours away in Kamloops, they're going to call the place that we're going to and try to get us seen as soon as possible. We already called them. They have a bit of a wait for an appointment, so we're hopeful that like the other dealerships can help us out. But yeah, so that's currently what's happening. We have friends who said, no, this is just speculation, when they got their transmission replaced, same vehicle, their spark plugs needed to be replaced as well, and it's like 6 hours after driving that happened. And so we drove for about 6 hours, and now our engine seems to be having a problem, so we are hopeful it's an easy fix like spark plugs. We don't know, we'll find out. Luckily, we have an Airbnb for the weekend with my friends in Glacier, which is about 3 hours away from us now, 2 hours from the dealership. So we got to get a rental car, which again, another cost. But my friend is helping us get the rental car, and then we are gonna just figure it out from there because we don't have a plan after that.
We ended up spending the night at a gas station that was just a few minutes away from where we broke down. And then luckily, our insurance covered a tow for us to go an hour and a half down to Cranbrook.
And off we go again.
We sorted through everything and we ended up at Cranbrook Dodge with a new rental car. Again, our moods weren't in the best of spirits, but we tried to put everything on the back burner to continue moving on with our summer. We spent the weekend in Glacier with my friends at an Airbnb, and then we ended up having a couple other adventures of camping and backpacking while the van was in the shop.
I believe I was wearing this t-shirt the last time I got on here to talk to you guys about our van breakdown, but the van broke down like I told you. We then got a tow to Cranbrook Dodge. We went to Cranbrook, we left our van there, and then we left, rented a car, and got the rental price of the car, luckily, so it was a discounted rental, and then took it to Glacier for the weekend because we had an Airbnb with my friends, which was already paid for and planned a long time ago. So luckily we had a place to stay. Okay, then we called them. Our van wasn't ready. They didn't know what was wrong, so we needed another place to stay. We have spent so much money lately. Luckily, one of my closest friends lives in Bozeman, Montana, so we weren't that far from her. She was so kind. Her and her future husband, because I'm filming their elopement next week, are letting us stay with them, crash in their house, which is so kind. We have not had to pay for a place to stay. But anyways, we hadn't heard for like a week and a half what was wrong with the van. They still didn't have time to look at it. And finally they did. I called back today, finally got some news. So the issue now is that the transmission solenoid module needs to be replaced, which I think is part of the line that they didn't replace in the first part, but luckily it's covered under the warranty for our transmission, so we are not paying for this. thank goodness we have been out of a lot of money, obviously, like, oh my goodness. But the unfortunate thing, the timing wise, it's supposed to be ready right around next weekend, he said, probably, because they have to get the part. It's going to be a week at least. My cousin gets married back on the East Coast the next weekend. We were supposed to be driving back in our van, so we do not have flights or anything, which isn't really a problem. It's not super expensive, luckily, to fly round trip. I don't know why. Maybe it's not a popular time of year, but the only issue is we don't know when to fly back. So maybe we can get refundable flights, but that is what we're currently looking at. We're going to have to fly back east and then fly back to get our van and hopefully drive it home, because we're gonna go drive up back east with no problem.
I filmed my friend's elopement in Glacier National Park, which is absolutely stunning, and then we flew back east for a couple other weddings, and we got to spend some quality time with my family, which was really nice.
Alright guys, it's my 2-year anniversary with Dylan, but we just got an anniversary present. We're currently at my parents' house because we had to be home for weddings. We had to fly back here. We get our van. Our van is officially done today. I called and he was like, I was going to give you a call. Your van's done. We can't get there till Monday because we have a wedding this weekend back here on the East Coast, but our van is actually done. Oh my gosh. Fingers crossed that it all works, because of course this is the 3rd time we're picking it up after it said it's done, but I think this is a good sign.
We flew back across the country to Calgary, and then we drove 4 hours to Cranbrook Dodge to hopefully pick up the van and leave our troubles behind.
Okay, we've made it to Canada. Dylan is doing a great job of driving. We're both pretty tired. We're getting to Cranbrook around 5:15ish is what it says, without stopping, and we have to stop for gas and something to eat. We haven't eaten in hours. We're just gonna grab something at a gas station. But the dealership closes at 5:30, and the guy said that it would be fine if we showed up at 5:25, and so we're just hopeful that we can get there in time, get our van, and get back to our lives.
Although we were exhausted, this drive was absolutely stunning as we went through the Canadian Rockies and we started to see the colors of autumn come out with beautiful yellows and larches.
We got the van! Reunited with our baby. How do you feel?
Nervous to drive it, honestly. Hopefully it's okay.
Once we were reunited with the van, we had to move all of our stuff back out of the rental car and back into the van. It felt like 3rd time is hopefully a charm.
Reunited with the van, but since we've already been reunited twice with the van, this time we're more skeptical, less elated and excited, more like hopefully nothing else happens, knock on wood.
We didn't want to push the van too much, so we took advantage of being next to Banff and explored the area, which was absolutely gorgeous, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a great excuse to be there in the fall before hitting the road again and heading back east.
Well, Vinny made it back home, so I guess the van breakdowns are done for now. I feel good about it. It made it 36 hours across the country, so we did it.
Hopefully all of our misadventures are behind us and you can follow along to catch up with where we're going next.